What's up, guys? It is Sam. We are backstage at Okeechobee Music and Arts Festival with one of our favorites, grandson. You're like family to us.
Yeah.
Thank you for making
I love
some time.
you guys.
We
I'm
love
so
you.
happy to be here. Thank you for making the time.
Absolutely. And before we started filming, you very quickly filled me in that it's been a huge couple months,
That's
year.
absolutely
like,
right.
What's going on? Like, what are you up to?
Well, I have emerged from a cave. We played our last show in November, I think, of 2019. And since then, I just went under the ground, writing music, taking care of my mental health and my personal life. And I'm really happy to kind of be poking my head back out, ready to keep getting new music out and playing shows again.
That's so exciting. So when you say you go into a cave, like what is that for you? Is it just like going home? Do you go see family? Like what do you do?
That's a great question. Well, I had a couple things, but creatively and personally, that I had been looking forward to addressing and tackling, but I felt that it was really hard to do so when my bandwidth was so slammed from being on tour. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like trying to get over a certain sickness when you still have to go to work each day, and it's like sometimes you can do a lot through doing nothing.
Right.
So I took some time to see family. I took some time to just move apartments, which was something I was lucky to do that I think is always really important. Sometimes changing your physical layout, even if it's just moving stuff around in your house, it's interesting to see how change can kind of put you in a new mindset, new headspace. And then from there, we were able to tackle a couple things. So one of which has been rolling out my own radio show, my own podcast called
That's
XXY,
exciting.
which
That's
is a series of
awesome.
conversations with other creators, people doing divergent work in music and community building. So working on that, as well as putting out the first song from an acoustic series I'm going to be doing with a really good friend of mine named K-Flay, which is going to be driven towards making music that is a lot more accessible and speaks to a certain carefree acoustic side of things that I always loved growing up, while also trying to raise awareness with head count to get young people registered to vote. So doing that, and then putting out more music after that. Yeah.
Wow. It's a lot going on.
It is a lot going on.
I saw a funny tweet from you where you were saying by the time your new music is out, your hair will have grown
That's right.
back. So what time frame does that make that? Like summer?
That's the question. It depends on if I figure out which muscle to flex.
Yeah.
I'd like to get it out as quick as possible, but if I've learned anything about being an artist, it's just how much it takes to move this shit around.
Yeah.
Move this stuff around, sorry. So... yeah, I think that it's all coming together in an exciting way, but we're going to keep dripping out these acoustic songs in the meantime, but should be rolling out my whole debut album sooner than later, hopefully by the end of the year.
And Peaches, I love. We
Thank
love
you.
K-Flay at
Yeah,
97X.
yes,
so,
we do.
How did you get working with her?
Yeah, so I met her for the first time through our mutual friend Mike Shinoda, who invited me to be on his solo album in 2018. We met backstage at a festival that Mike was performing at in Los Angeles and stayed in touch, played a couple festivals after that. And she was at the top of my list of artists I wanted to collaborate with. And a lot of these collaborations are with artists you might expect me to make kind of heavier music with. But I really did want to make stuff that was a little more carefree, that I don't know, that I could speak to people of different ages and span different genres. And she was receptive to that. So our managers had been talking about us collaborating on a different song. I thought that if I kind of let the people behind the scenes do it, it would be more professional than me just kind of gushing what a big fan I was and hoping she would jump on a song. But then I tried a different path and gushed to her what a big fan I was and sent her a different idea, which ended up becoming Peaches, and she was excited about it. She threw a verse on it that night. She's super easy to work with, really excited about collaboration, and I think it's an exciting time for alternative music in general. I think that there are lots of different artists and bands supportive of one another in a way that I don't think we've seen in a generation, at least here in alternative music. And what I'd like to do is just take that off of the internet and actually turn it into music and turn it into conversations with one another. A lot of us have the same fans and do the same press circuits and whatever. So I just was looking forward to making that space that I really wanted to be a part of, instead of waiting for someone else to make it. And Peaches was the first opportunity to do that.
And it definitely showcases, I think, a different sound from you that we haven't heard a lot of before. And I love that. I mean, that is what alternative music, it's kind of like this home for everything that doesn't fit into a certain box. Like, I love that. And that you can kind of have all these different angles and change up your sound. And we're always going to be here for it.
I really appreciate that. I hope so. You know, I think that I'd like to think that is what being an alternative artist is all about, is constantly challenging ourselves. And there's a certain irony in, for me to make a song without any swearing in it, or make a song that is acoustic that could be on like the Juno soundtrack or something, that is somehow a form of rebellion in demanding my fan base expand their idea of what Grandson is. And I see different examples around me of that I might be able to reach certain destinations faster if I were more one-dimensional, if I wasn't experimental as much, if I was able to be a little more just focused on one thing. But I love making different kinds of music, and I love paying homage to different artists that I was influenced by when I was growing up. So I'm going to continue to make it hard on my label and on my management, and I'm going to keep putting out music that is different from one another. So.
And you said that you finished your tour in November. So how have you played a lot of live shows since the start of the year, or is Okeechobee today?
Acoustic sets. One was a fundraiser for Bernie Sanders a couple weeks ago. I'm going to be doing another one as part of the 320 festival that's being put together by Talinda Bennington. I'm really excited about that. But this is our first full band, angry, sweaty rock show in a couple months.
Well, we are excited to see it. Your set is in just a couple of hours.
Yeah.
It's colder than we all thought, I think, this weekend. So I think we're ready to jump around and rock out with you and warm up.
Let's go wrestle an alligator. I'm ready.
Let's do it. Jump in the swamp.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.